financial forecast on, I mean, it's just a big project, and you know, I've been reading through some of these geotech reports, and have you read the geotech report on this property? Have you read the archaeological study on this report?
Don't need to, because it doesn't mean anything to me anyway. I'm
Well,
not smart enough to understand it.
Well, I do know, I know this, that the place is in a significant historical part of the county, and all these engineers, Patriot, and they're recommending a phase 1 archaeological full assessment be done of the property, and that's a significant expense, and if they find any prehistoric, and the likelihood is very strong there. But anyway, I got big concern. I just wish we could have a work session to just talk about this project and on the scenario. So that's all I got to say about that.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. Hearing none. Call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Luckmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
No.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next, Resolution 2026-058. It's the American Battlefield Trust Agreement, Fifth Amendment. Jill.
This is the resolution authorizing the Fifth Amendment to an agreement between the Madison County Fiscal Court and the City of Richmond and the American Battlefield Trust. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court, the City of Richmond, and the American Battlefield Trust.
Thank you.
Let's try that again. This is a resolution authorizing the Fifth Amendment to the agreement between the Madison County Fiscal Court, the City of Richmond, and the American Battlefield Trust. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court, the City of Richmond, and the American Battlefield Trust have agreed to enter into agreement of covenants of real property on March 14th, 2023 via Resolution 2023-28 with amendments as follows. June 25th, 2024, February 25th, 2025, July 22nd, 2025, and November 12th, 2025. And as you all will know, there has been significant delays as a result of federal funding, and this project is being funded through the American Battlefield Trust. And the American Battlefield Trust has requested additional time for this federal grant processing to secure a conservation easement for the purposes of preserving this historical property. And whereas due to the delays in closing and the increase in real values, real property market values, the Madison County Fiscal Court requested that the American Battlefield Trust have an above referenced property reappraised. Whereas the parties have agreed that the term of the agreement and consideration shall be amended to retroactively go into effect March 31st, 2026, and shall expire December 31st, 2026. And whereas the parties further agree that the remaining provisions of the agreement shall remain the same. Now therefore be it resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the Judge Executive and/or his designee to negotiate and execute contracts on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Jill. Members of the court, you've heard Resolution 2026-058. What's the pleasure of the court?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
And we did secure an additional $62,000 as a result of our request that will come to the county as a result of us going through this reappraisal and the delays. So just so the court knows, we know this has been a long process. We're in constant communication with the Battlefield Trust as well as the City of Richmond to make sure that this happens.
Thank you for that, Jill. Anyone else? We do have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2026-058. Call the roll.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Botkin?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next, Resolution 2026-059. This is Levi Park Cemetery relocation.
This is a resolution pursuant on KRS 381-755 and 901 KAR 5090, authorizing the removal and relocation of graves in the historic Levi Park Cemetery, Radford Hollow Road, Berea, Kentucky, Madison County, Kentucky. Whereas the Levi Park Cemetery is located within the immediate vicinity of the Owsley Fork Reserve, further describes in Exhibit A hereto, and contains graves that will be affected by the proposed raising of the pool level of the reservoir, necessitating the relocation of all graves. And whereas the Berea College, as the current owner of the property, in addition to the City of Berea and the United States Department of Agriculture, National Resources Conservation Service, has requested pursuant to KRS 381755 that the Madison County Fiscal Court adopt a resolution authorizing the permanent removal and relocation of all graves contained in the Levi Park Cemetery. And whereas 60 days have expired since a notice of the said intended action was first published in print and online editions of the Berea Citizen on April 24th, 2024. And whereas the majority of the graves will be permanently relocated from the Levi Parks Family Cemetery to the reinterment cemetery further described in Exhibit A, here to the west of Radford Hollow Road to the southwest of the existing cemetery. And whereas the descendants of the certain interred remains have requested alternate reinterment sites as follows. The grave of Beulah Cates will be reinterred in the Cates Cemetery. The grave of Susan Mary Brewer will be reinterred in the Silver Creek Cemetery. And the graves of William F. Hudson, Levi Parks, Margaret A. Parks, Martha Ann Parks, Roley Parks, Sari E. Parks, and William Turner Parks will be reinterred in the Pilot Knob Cemetery located along Pilot Knob Cemetery Road, and more specifically at the following coordinates, as provided by KRS 381755 and pursuant to the procedure set forth in 901 KAR 5090, Section 3. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Madison County Fiscal Court that pursuant on KRS 381755, that the Madison County Fiscal Court hereby orders that all graves mentioned above will be permanently removed and relocated as set forth above, and that this resolution shall become effective on the date of its passage.
Motion approved resolution 2026-059, Judge.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Thank you all. Any discussion? I know we have Michael Lyle. Is Michael? Michael's here from Bell Engineering, and then Alex Bobby is here as well, and Josh Gabbard is also here from Berea Municipal. If any of the members of the court, you know, we did this, I don't know how many months ago.
Probably 6, maybe.
But obviously this has to do with the work with Berea Municipal on raising the water level of Housley Fork for water service to the southern end of the county. This was a request that came through Berea Municipal's Berea City Council. So,
Judge, I had just one question on the resolution. It says in the second paragraph down there that whereas the Madison County adopts a resolution authorizing the permanent removal and relocation, we're not technically authorizing the removal. We're authorizing the cemetery or deeming the cemetery abandoned, right? Is that correct?
I think the statute says we.
Yeah, I think this one's a little different in that because this situation, and Brooke can probably.
There's a specific statute that addresses this particular situation, and the property owner petitions the court, but the court has to issue the resolution that authorizes the relocation of the graves.
Okay. But, I mean, technically, our role was to consider it abandoned. Is that not?
Well, I don't think that's how the statutory language reads. I don't have the statute right in front of me, but I think we have to authorize the relocation.
Is there any family members here? Any descendants?
I will say that, you know, the company that did this work, the packet was full of information and had a lot of detail, and I appreciate that. There's a lot to that, and the fact that they were able to contact descendants and get their approval. That means a lot.
I know when we did this before, we had some of the descendants were here.
Well, I just want to say too, Judge, that, you know, I've got a big problem with moving souls to begin with, but in this instance, it's going to be covered up with water, and in this instance, which was different from the last time, is the supporting documentation. All you folks back there that were involved with this, you need to be commended because you did the legwork ahead of time, and we certainly appreciate that with all of the descendants agreeing to allow that to happen. The only question that I had with it was for the 8 souls that were going to be moved to the Pilot Knob Cemetery. Pilot Knob's a little bit different than some of the cemeteries. You move souls to Pilot Knob Cemetery, you go out there and physically dig the grave and put them in that cemetery. And so I talked to Mayor Fraley yesterday about it, and he assured me that the city of Berea would be a full partner in that happening, that no, the descendants would physically be out there doing that they would assure that got taken care of, so.
All right. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, call the roll, please.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Bucking.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Lockmuller.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. All right, next, Resolution 2026-060. This is employee classification schedule for FY 2026-2027.
This is a resolution of the Fiscal Court approving the Madison County Annual Employee Classification Schedule for fiscal year 2026-2027. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has established an employee classification schedule for the benefit of all employees of the Fiscal Court to ensure fair and consistent wages for all job classifications. And whereas the employee classification schedule is updated annually. Now therefore be it resolved that the Fiscal Court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county.
All right, members of the court, you've heard Resolution 2026-060. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
Have a motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, call the roll, please.
Master Bucking.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Master Lockmuller.
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next, Resolution 2026-061, annual employee rate adjustment for FY 2026-2027.
And Judge, before we go on to that, just so you know, we have been having some technical difficulties on the online stream, so want to acknowledge that. It seems to be working now, but it has been hit or miss, and we've missed some conversations. So the audio obviously is recorded, but for those who may be tuning in now, we've had a little bit of technical difficulties, so just bear with us as our team in the back continues to work through that.
All right, thank you.
This is resolution of the fiscal court adopting the employee rate adjustments for fiscal year 2026-2027. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has established an employee rate adjustments for the 2026-2027 fiscal year. And whereas the merit-based rate adjustments are updated annually. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court wishes to adopt the annual employee rate adjustments for the 2026-2027 fiscal year to become effective with the pay period beginning July 1st, 2026. Now therefore it be resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county.
Motion approved resolution 2026-061, Judge.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Discussion. Jill, you want to kind of talk about what we went through to determine?
Sure. Obviously, I've had some conversations with some of the magistrates. About every 3 years, it becomes warranted that you do a market assessment and a compensation analysis, which we did this year. You have a copy of a kind of an overview document in your court packet that talks about the results of that. And I've talked with some of you all individually, even and answered your questions about that. One of the things that we began to find over the course of the last 3 years has been the recruitment and retainment of our employees, specifically in certain areas. If we lose an employee, of being able to hire someone back at that same wage has resulted in months and extreme that honestly we couldn't get anybody to take those jobs for that amount of pay. Which has obviously caused quite a burden on the community, but also on the county. So as we looked at that compensation analysis, we compared the current pay classifications to like-sized counties throughout the state, as well as those adjacent, like Jessamine, as well as, you know, when you look at a Warren County, a Hardin County, a Boone County, a Christian County, those throughout the state, including Franklin County. And so going through that and doing that comparison, we found that there were certain areas that were significantly below market for our comparison of our current classification to those. Some of those are in the public safety realm that were specifically really low. Some of those were leadership positions that were extremely low, which is one of the areas that we have found that has been very difficult to recruit to those positions. As we look and move forward, this is really not about right now. This is really about the future of this community and the future, I mean, honestly, the future administration, that they're able to recruit and retain employees so that when they get here, that they have the ability and a wage that people will kind of want to come and work for. So this was not done lightly. I realize that there's a lot of work and time and attention. I would say we have some of the best county employees that exist anywhere in the state. But we know that they are significantly underpaid in a lot of areas.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate that. Any comments from magistrates?
Well, I mentioned earlier, there's some of these raises that are eye-popping, and that, the pay itself is, is the minor thing. It's the long-term cost of the retirement, where the money really comes in. So that's what, and so I'm thinking about the taxpayers and what kind of, they're ultimately the ones going to pay this, so.
And I think if you looked at the complete analysis Magistrate Hughes and you saw what that financial impact was, should we have done a 3.5% merit-based, or we did market adjustments throughout the entire classification, we calculate in all of that fringe cost and what that looks like on the long term. And, this county has done, and this fiscal court has done, made a lot of decisions that to be fiscally responsible so that they can cover those costs and afford to do that. And I will go down always and say our greatest asset is our employees. And so sometimes the recruitment and retainment is 50 to 100% of a person's salary to the cost of turnover. It could be anywhere from $9,000 to $20,000 when you have to replace someone. And we see that over and over and over again from a HR perspective and from a administrative perspective.
I think also with the change that the state made in the retirement system several years ago, it makes it harder to recruit employees due to, it's really just a 401k now. It's not that 27 years and out. And so people, when they were in that tier 1 level, they were willing to work for a little lesser wage because of the benefit of the 27 years. And now it's not that way. It's your years of service and your age have to equal 87, and you don't have that defined benefit, what they refer to in that. And so it makes it a lot tougher for people. We can't keep these low wages because of the retirement system. And I think we've, over the last 12 years, have seen that change in trying to recruit and retain. And to your point, I guess this is sort of a national average that to replace an employee can cost anywhere from $8,000 to $20,000. That's a huge expense, to the taxpayers, because we make decisions based on, we try to make decisions what's based on good financial decisions. And so I think you have to look at the whole picture. And if we're behind when we do market adjustments and we compare to like counties, it's got to put us in a good spot. And we're not making this decision just for us. We're making it for the new administration and the new fiscal court that's coming. Some of these things that we've had challenges with, I sure don't want them to have those same challenges.
Well, and I appreciate that too, but I'm thinking about the future taxpayers.
And I think we also could look into, is the cost of retirement and what that cost is with the new kind of the 401k setup. Is it the same cost to the county? That's a good question.
Yeah.
As the old tier 1 system.
Yeah,
That would be a good question to ask.
There's a lot of 18% increases in there, and that's just a lot.
And if they're in there, they're because that's how far we're behind.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
We've seen this over and over and over, and we've seen it especially highlighted in the last couple of years with Buc-ee's coming and the pay that they had out there. And I don't know how many times I've talked to people, and that's been compared. Well, I can go to Buc-ee's and make $18 an hour, and, on and on and on. I remember times when we've seen people at the road department leave for a quarter of an hour and go to the state. I remember the sheriff had a guy one time that left in Lexington for $1 an hour. On the surface, that seems like a pretty good deal, $1 an hour, but
You
Hey,
can't
look
drive
at-
to Lexington for $1.
look at the price of gasoline. Look at his time. He added, 2.5 more hours in traffic every day. There's a lot of factors that go into that.
He chose foolishly.
Exactly right. But we've seen that over and over, yet they'll still do it. They'll jump for a minimum amount, and then you've got to start all over again. You got the certificates involved, you got the training involved. In the sheriff's case, you got the DOCJT involved. You got all those things you got to go through. That's an enormous expense that you can avert. We can just be competitive with our pay.
Well, I think the replacement of a firefighter or a 911 dispatcher alone, based on the training hours, I think it's over $17,000 just off the top.
And I think there's a huge value in having seasoned employees as well and retaining those folks, you know? So again, you have to be competitive. All right, anyone else? We do have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2026-061. Anyone else? All right, hearing none, call the roll, please.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
No.
Master Bucket?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, Jill. All right, next is the City of Richmond partnership request. Jill?
Yes, just a little overview. Want to make this request. The request was reached out to us from our partners and City Manager Meinrich at the City of Richmond, requesting our partnership in two different projects. Both of those are outlined for you. The first being Haven of Hope. They have requested that we partner on a 50-50 on the lease agreement for the Haven of Hope building. That would be a $22,500 cost to the fiscal court for our portion. We are aware, I know that Monica and members of her volunteer base, I actually think she's here today, have presented to the court in recent months, talking about the work that they've done. And so the City of Richmond has formally requested that we support them in in supporting Haven of Hope. And so I'm happy to answer any questions based on that. We do have a resolution prepared if it's something you decide you want to move forward with.
And also the one-stop too, correct?
Yeah, I was going to see if there's any questions about it. I was trying not to mix them together.
Okay, I got you. I understand.
Well, they
Just
run
to-
together for me, though.
Well, they tend to run together, but they're two very separate entities with two very separate missions, and I think that they both deserve their conversation is warranted if there's questions about Haven of Hope and where we want to go with that, and then we can have a conversation about One Stop because the financials are a little different.
All right.
So for me personally, this is just a no-brainer. You know, we've got opportunity to partner this to affect lives. And I'm all in support of this. You know, the argument that I've had over the years and this discussion will be had on long after we're gone for the animal shelter. You know, everybody loves their pets. I used to love mine. He's gone. I'll never have another one. But, you know, at one point in time, we looked at a plan to spend $8 million to build a new animal shelter. I'm not spending $8 million on animal shelter. We've got people living on the street. And this is an opportunity to affect that and to help that situation, and I'm all for it.
Amen.
All right, so are we good? Y'all want us to read the resolution then, or everybody feel good about that?
Okay, but do we need to make a motion for the agenda, to amend the agenda, or is it just?
No,
bring
it's
it
on,
forward?
it's on the agenda. You don't have to amend it. Yeah, it's a regular scheduled meeting, so we can make any motion that we want.
One
So,
motion for both of them?
well, they're two separate,
Yeah, but it's just one line item.
Yeah. but just go ahead
I
and
think
read
the
the
public needs to hear about the second one before we vote on it.
Well, you want to talk about the second one, too?
Sure. So the second request from the City of Richmond was for the One Stop Resource and Referral Hub, which is a division of Enrich. The request was made for them to operate at their current level through November of 2026. The monthly operations cost is $46,742.56. So they will need an additional $327,197.92 to operate through June of 2027. The City of Richmond is requesting that the Madison County Fiscal Court split this cost for the remainder of FY '27. This would be a total of $163,598.96 for each of us. We do not currently, in the budget, we do not currently have a line item for this. Obviously, that would mean a transfer from the reserves to afford this cost if this is something the court wants to move forward with. The One Stop, as you all have also heard, we all participated in a joint meeting several months ago where they gave a little update on some of their analytics to show the people that they're serving every single day, is really a great point of transition of where people are coming to them to then be referred to other agencies and partner agencies to get the resources that they need. So happy to answer any questions specifically about this request from the city of Richmond and how maybe the fiscal court would like to move forward.
Gio, I think this is a very worthy, I've been impressed with these people and the job they're doing for our community. I do have a question, and so this is one of 2 or 3 different times that we've partnered with Richmond on things to benefit the broader community. And there's no hidden agenda here, I'm just asking a question. So we've partnered with them, have they partnered with us on anything recently?
I mean, I think that when you look at this, and a partnership's always going to be a two-way street, right? And I
Yeah,
think you look at the Battlefield Trust is definitely a partnership.
There you go.
And that's a
Okay.
great
Yep.
example
Yep.
that we talked about earlier today, where we had reached out to them several years ago
Yep.
and created a partnership so
And
that
they've taken some responsibility.
we
on it.
can,
I
we can
couldn't remember.
benefit the greater good. And I think that's what communities do. That's what community leaders do.
No, I just couldn't think of it, but I
Yeah.
knew we had because
Just go back up a couple agenda items.
working together is a good thing, not a bad thing. So you gave me the recollection. Thank you.
Of course.
I think, in meetings with Adam and Dan since we had that meeting joint session, they've kind of changed some of their analytics. And so now they're capturing where their program is showing a return on investment to the community based on how it affects, overall costs, like with the jail costs. If they step in to an individual and give them an alternative based on going to jail or finding a job or finding a home or whatever, they're starting to capture that and track it. And so, I think what they're doing is a model for the state. I think what they're doing is great. They're capturing all this data, and now they're showing where it has an impact on the taxpayer. I mean, based on, if somebody gets employed and becomes a taxpayer versus someone who is always has a need that has to be met by the taxpayer, that's a win-win. I mean, they become a part of the society that's paying into the system rather than taking out. So, and they're tracking that, and I appreciate them doing that.
Yeah, it's really great to see the evolution of that model. Judge Taylor and I have met with them several times and met over the course of several years to see that evolution. Obviously, we're very data-driven people and make decisions based on that, and help to facilitate, hey, we need to have numbers that represent what the work you're doing. We know there's a lot of people in this community who do great work every single day, but being able to quantify that is the difference between a good organization and a great organization.
They also got, it's just not for this next fiscal year,
It'd be for FY '28.
27, 28 fiscal year. They got some funding through the state that will help the next year as well. So I can't remember the amount.
So it's $200 of dollar-for-dollar match.
It's 200,000.
200,000, yes,
Yeah.
of dollar-for-dollar match. And Rob and I talked about that as well, and what that looked like, and, how hopefully their request would be that we split that again in partnership to support these agencies.
I make a motion, we approve both these agreements.
So let's go ahead. We will amend the agenda just to play it safe. So if you want to, if I could get a motion and a second to amend the agenda to put resolution 2026-062 and resolution 2026-063 on the agenda.
So move.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second. Okay. So now let's go to resolution 20.
Take a vote on that motion?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I do. Thank you, Billy Ray. Call the roll.
Master Lockmuller,
Yes.
Master Hughes.
Yes.
Master Buchan.
Yes.
Master Combs.
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. So now, Jeff, will you read resolution 2026-06?
Yes, this is a resolution of the Madison County Fiscal Court authorizing a one-time annual funding partnership with the City of Richmond for the Haven of Hope Homeless Shelter lease payment. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court recognizes the importance of providing safe, stable, and supportive housing resources for individuals and families experiencing homelessness within Madison County. And whereas Haven of Hope Homeless Shelter has demonstrated its value to the citizens of Madison County through the provision of the emergency shelter, supportive services, case management, and assistance to individuals and families facing housing insecurity. And whereas the services provided by Haven of Hope during the past year have directly benefited residents throughout Madison County, including those residing outside the corporate limits of the city of Richmond. And whereas the city of Richmond has taken significant efforts to support the operation, sustainability of Haven for Hope and has requested partnership from the Madison County Fiscal Court in helping secure continued shelter services for this community. And whereas Madison County Fiscal Court recognizes that homelessness is a community-wide issue requiring collaboration among all local governments, nonprofit organizations, service providers, and other community stakeholders. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court finds that a cooperative funding partnership between Madison County and the City of Richmond serves as a valid public purpose for helping ensure the continued availability of the critical shelter services for Madison County residents in need. And whereas the annual lease obligation for the Haven of Hope facility totals $45,000, and the City of Richmond has requested that the Madison County Fiscal Court participating in sharing this cost equally. Now therefore it be resolved that the Madison County Fiscal Court as follows. The Madison County Fiscal Court hereby expresses its support for the mission and services provided by Haven of Hope Homeless Shelter and acknowledges the positive impact the organization has made on individuals and families throughout Madison County. Madison County Fiscal Court authorizes a one-time annual appropriation in the amount of $22,500 toward the lease payment for the Haven of Hope facility, representing 50% of the annual lease obligation, with the remaining 50% to be provided by the City of Richmond. And the judge executive is authorized to execute any agreements, memorandums of understanding, and related documents necessary to facilitate the funding partnership and ensure proper accountability for the expenditure of public funds. The Madison County Fiscal Court encourages continued collaboration among Madison County, the City of Richmond, Haven of Hope, local service organizations, community partners to address homelessness, housing instability throughout the county.
You didn't type that, did you? That's a long one.
Yeah, you gotta see the next one.
I know.
Motion approves resolution
Chris in here to read it.
2026-062, Judge.
Thank you, Tom. Do I have a second?
Second.
So I have a motion second to approve Resolution 2026-062. Any further discussion?
Anybody here from Haven Hope today?
Yeah, Monica's back.
Monica's here.
Would you be kind enough to come up and just tell the crowd here what you do? There may be some folks here that don't know about Haven Hope.
You need to go get a drink of water.
Thank you. I am Monica Barnes with Madison County Haven of Hope. I am the founder and executive director. We are a homeless shelter that started last May. We are 100% funded up until this point from local churches and private donations. We are a nonprofit. We are 100% volunteer ran. Everything is completely free to every guest that comes through our door. This morning when I was there, I go every morning at about 6:45 before I start my day. I teach school as my regular day job, but now it's the summer. So this morning I pulled up my data to see what our numbers were last night. We had 2 new guests that we had never had before. So as of last night, our Steep Street property, that's where our property is, it's 301 Steep Street. We opened it December 19th, and this morning we have had 182 unique individuals that have sheltered there. So we are full almost every single day. But again, it's 100% volunteers, no one is paid, fully donation driven. I post on Facebook when we need toilet paper, we need hand sanitizer, toilet cleaner, whatever we do. So this is all volunteers and a good, caring community that is supporting this.
Monica, talk about your hours of operation just a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of your structure.
Okay. So because we are 100% volunteer ran, we are not open 24 hours a day because that's not possible. We open at 6 o'clock every evening right now. When it was winter, when it was cold, sometimes we would open at 4, or 5 o'clock in the evening. So we receive guests at that point, and they stay until 8 o'clock the following morning. So we try to not send people out until the other services are open, until the One Stop is open, until Madison Home opens, or the public library. On Sundays, when it was cold, we would have volunteers that would stay a little bit longer because the library doesn't open until a little bit later. Madison Home isn't open on Sundays. So those are our hours right now.
Do you have families as well, Monica?
We have sheltered a few children, like families with children, but we don't do that a lot right now. We do have a building behind our property. If some of you all are familiar with the area, we do have a garage with an upstairs apartment, and our goal is to eventually get that building finished out. So if we had a family with children, that would be a safe spot for them to be. So we try to not have kids in the building because it's an open landscape. Anyone is welcome to stop by, or you can call me, and I can be there in the middle of the day, especially in the summertime, for people to come and see what it looks like. There are pictures online. We have a Facebook page, but it is an open landscape, so there are men and women kind of intermixed. So we try to not have kids right in there. Every guest that we have and volunteer, we run a want and warrant check on to make sure that it's safe, and we cannot accommodate sex offenders. That is the only thing we cannot accommodate at this point because we are too close to the kindergarten academy.
Any questions?
What's the best way, if somebody's watching online, to reach out to you to help support your organization?
We have a Facebook page that's Madison County Haven of Hope. We have a website that is havenofhopeky.com, or you can contact 859-314-4821.
Thank you.
So we're always looking for volunteers and donations, but I appreciate your all support.
Yeah. Appreciate what you do, Monica.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good stuff. All right, we do have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 2026-062. If there's no further conversation, any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Bachman?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmiller?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Next is Resolution 2026-063. Jill?
This is a resolution of the Madison County Fiscal Court authorizing a funding partnership with the City of Richmond to support the one-stop resource referral hub of Madison County with one-time funding. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court recognizes the mental health challenges, substance abuse disorders, homelessness, housing instability, and other social service needs that continue to impact individuals and families throughout Madison County. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court has demonstrated a long-standing commitment to supporting community service organizations, behavioral health initiatives, recovery programs, and public safety partnerships, and efforts to combat the opioid epidemic and mental health crisis affecting our communities. And whereas the one-stop referral hub of Madison County serves as a centralized point for access for individuals and families seeking assistance with housing, mental health services, substance abuse treatment, employment resources, healthcare access, transportation assistance, and other critical support services, and has become an important component of the community's coordinated response. And whereas the Commonwealth of Kentucky has recognized the value and effectiveness of the one-stop resource referral hub of Madison County through the award of significant state funding and support, demonstrating confidence in the hub's mission, operations, and impact on the citizens it serves. And whereas the City of Richmond has identified a funding gap of $327,197.92 necessary to continue operations and maintain services provided through the one-stop resource and referral hub of Madison County. And whereas the City of Richmond has requested that the Madison County Fiscal Court participate in a collaborative funding partnership to address the operational funding gap, with each local government contributing 50% of the total amount needed. And whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court finds that supporting the continued operation of one-stop resource and referral hub of Madison County serves a valid public purpose by improving access to essential services, reducing barriers to care, strengthening community health and safety, supporting individuals in crisis, and promoting coordinated solutions to complex social challenges affecting Madison County residents. Now therefore be it resolved by the Madison County Fiscal Court as follows. The Madison County Fiscal Court hereby acknowledges and commends the request of the City of Richmond in sustaining one-stop resource referral hub of Madison County and recognizes the positive impact the hub has had on the citizens of Madison County. The Madison County Fiscal Court reaffirms its commitment to supporting community-based solutions that address homelessness, mental health challenges, substance use disorders, and other issues affecting health, safety, and well-being of Madison County residents. Madison County Fiscal Court authorized the participation in a funding partnership with the City of Richmond to support the continued operation of the one-stop resource referral hub of Madison County and appropriates an equal amount to 50% of the identified funding gap of $327,197.92, representing a county contribution of $163,598.96 for FY27. The Judge Executive is authorized to execute any agreements, memoranda of understanding, and funding agreements or related documents necessary to facilitate this partnership and ensure accountability for the expenditure of public funds. Madison County Fiscal Court urges encourages continued collaboration among the City of Richmond, Madison County government, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, healthcare providers, nonprofit organizations, public safety organizations, and community partners to strengthen the network of services available to residents in need. Be it further resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive and/or his designee to execute the same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Jill. All right, we have a motion for Resolution 2026-063 to approve, and we have a second. Any discussion? Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, call the roll, please.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, thank you, Jill. Next is personnel. Jessica. Good morning.
Good morning. Members of the court, I would like to ask that you all approve your hiring recommendations in your packet.
So moved.
Second.
All right, have a motion, second. Any further discussion?
This is we're getting a firefighter and somebody in planning and zoning office, so.
Yeah, it's an
Two hires.
admin assistant for
Yeah.
planning and coding.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Call the roll.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Thank you, Jessica. Next is judge's report. Just a few announcements. On Saturday, June 27th, for our next Adopt Joy event at PetSmart in Richmond from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Every visit gives the adoptable dogs a chance to be seen. That is a good event. I went out a few months ago to it. Also, visit our website at www.madisoncountyky.gov/community events to see a list of some of the community events going on in our community. And also, if you have an event and would like to feature it on our page, just simply click the Submit an Event button to complete the form. It's a great way to have sort of this community calendar. Sometimes events overlap one another. Also, Madison County government and its related offices will be closed on Friday, July 3rd for the Independence Day holiday. Offices will reopen on Monday, July 6th at 8 a.m. So, Master comments, Tom.
Just a couple of things, Judge. I guess over the last couple of weeks, I've gotten some emails and mostly phone calls from folks wanting some road services done or this or that. And I go out and take a look at them. First of all, see if it's even ours. Sometimes it belongs to the state. Sometimes there's nothing we can do because it's out of our right of way. That's a biggie. But when those do, I get a hold of the road department and they come out and they assess it, and then we put work orders in and schedule the work. So I said that to say, it doesn't mean because I come out and look at it, somebody's going to show up next week or maybe the next week. They've got a process that they go through as far as for working on their work order list. When your number comes up, they'll come out and take care of it. If it's just an emergency situation, safety, line of sight, things like that, then that's different. We'll come out and take care of those. You got a tree that's getting ready to fall down in the middle of the road. We'll come out and address those things right now. So just be aware of those. I was hoping, Judge, I've written down that you would tell us, or Scott, maybe you could give us update on the Hagen Mill, on the bridge at Hagen Mill. Somebody tell me where we're at on that.
The Hagen Mill Bridge has been turned over to the engineering company. We brought that to court, and they have to engineer a set of plans to put the new,
Carbon fiber.
it's a carbon fiber mat that's actually laid into the concrete and epoxied to the concrete, and that strengthens the arches of the bridge. So they have to give us all the details before we can plan to do the work, and we are waiting on them to give us the details.
All right, so any idea at all when we might hear something back from them? We're just.
It should be any day. I talked to Stephen Sewell. He's the engineer of Palmer Engineering, and I talked to him probably about a week or two ago, and it was it's any time. And I think once they get that design, then excuse me, that'll allow us to go to the company that actually sells the mat, and that process is pretty quick. I think installing that, putting it up is pretty quick. And of course, there's only one there's only one crack that has the state concerned and why they closed it. And so we'll obviously focus on that that crack, getting it fixed so we can open up the bridge and then we can work on the other ones. I think there's about 6 in total.
All right, well, I get calls for the updates on
Yep.
that, so.
Yeah, I got one.
We let folks know.
I got one the other day from a local farmer, and I'm hoping, I'm hoping we'll have it open by the end of July.
Yeah,
Yep, I'm hoping.
good.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. Only other thing I've got, Judge, if anyone needs me, they can reach out at 200-9765.
Thank you. Brian?
Just want to thank the city of Richmond for reaching out and asking for this partnership between Haven and Hope and Rich. Great opportunity to work together and benefit the community as a whole. I appreciate Monica. You're a rock star for our community. And Rich, all those guys down there, I've built great relationships with them. Great Christian people that want to serve their community. So kudos to them, and just continue to do what they're doing. And glad to partner with them. Other than that, Judge, just glad to be here.
Glad to hear it, buddy. Steve?
Yeah, I want to also say what Brian did on the partnerships that we've had. Both these organizations are great organizations and provide needed services and more to our community. And we've heard from both of them, we've seen both of them, and we're just happy to be a little bitty part in trying to support you. And then the other thing, Judge, is that I'd like to thank the road department with all the trees down and the flooding. I think they're still digging out, but hopefully there's some sunshine going to happen over the next several days. But anyway, with that, I'm good, Judge. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Billy Ray?
Let me pull a pin on one. Data centers. It's a hot topic. We were at the Magistrates Convention this past week, and, it's a big topic all over the state. Fayette County, they recently did a moratorium on data centers. A lot of counties are doing these moratoriums. Josh Bray, he talked about the state legislature. We're trying to learn from other states' mistakes, Virginia and Ohio. And so the state is working on legislation to help control these data centers. You got a lot of third-party people that come in, and promise the moon. And so I would like for us to consider putting a temporary moratorium on data centers until the state gets their work done. And, and we can calm a lot of nerves if we do something like that. What do you think?
Sure.
Wow, what about that?
As before, we've talked about, we've not had anybody reach out to us about data centers. Now, again, I know we can be proactive in that, but I'm totally open to it. Jill, we can work on some language, maybe see what some of these other communities have done, and let our county attorneys and stuff just make sure we don't get ourselves into, I know in the past, in some situations, if you just totally don't allow something, that can get into a legal liability risk for the county. And so we just want to make sure that it's done correctly and worded correctly as far as our land use regs and things like that, to make sure that it doesn't bite us on the back end of it. So, but we can definitely work on that. I think everybody is in agreement here that
A lot of counties are doing this,
it's not something that is really desirable, and there's a lot of environmental concerns, and obviously I don't think anybody would be in agreement to do that in our community. So
I think what Fayette County, they did a temporary.
Yeah, it's
and
temporary.
it's under litigation too, so it's probably something you want to watch and make sure that,
Yep.
if
I think we need to research it. To Billy Ray's point, maybe a work session or whatever. Let's get our information up
Yep.
front, not just do something haphazardly. But we're all on record that we're not supportive of data centers at this time.
Yeah.
So let's do the right thing and work through it.
Yeah, that's why I say, let's do some research and see what some of that language looks like, and we can,
Give a couple of examples.
Yeah.
I know Woodford County passed theirs in the last 2 weeks.
yeah, okay, sure. You
That's
got
it.
anything else? You good? Counselor? You good? Kenny?
No, sir, no everything.
Sheriff? You got anything? All right, comments from department heads. Any department head need to? Not today? All right, comments, see public comment. Rainey Hayes. Did you want to address the court today, ma'am? No? Okay. Mary McMahon. Did you want to address the court today, Mary? Okay.
Hi, my name's Mary McMahon. Billy Ray, I want to say thank you for bringing up the data center thing. And let everybody know, Preserve Madison County has a data center forum this Thursday at the library, 5:30. And we have already had some talks of maybe reaching out to you all, the city of Richmond and the city of Berea, about a moratorium and working together. So hopefully that could take place. We've got some people that know way more about data centers than I do. So we'd love to do that. But I'm here, really, I just want to say, I find some things that are going on right now ironic. After the election results that came out, there's suddenly all these extra meetings of the fiscal court. When's the last time you all had 4 fiscal court meetings in 1 month? Ever?
Have we had 4 meetings?
I think
This month?
next.
Well, go to,
We have to do some of them to get our business done.
So, I'm sorry, Mary, but just so it's on the record, we issue our schedule a year in advance that says when the regularly scheduled meetings are. As everyone will remember, we have had to schedule a meeting on June 30th, which is the final day of the fiscal year, which puts 3 meetings in June. Which adds an additional 1 this year. We did the same thing last year to be consistent so that we can pay the final claims for this fiscal year and to meet all audit requirements. So that is 1 additional. We did have a special called meeting, as you all recall, to do the first reading of the budget, to meet the DLG guidelines, which said that that had to be done by June 1st. And we wanted to make sure that we were doing right after the election results to really review that budget and make sure that in reality, the projects and plans that we had set forth for this administration did not negatively impact the future administration. So we took that budget and we peeled back things that we had planned to do so that they had the ability to make those decisions themselves, feeling that that was the right thing to do following the election. So I hope that explains why there was 4 meetings in June.
Okay, well, I guess that kind of rolls right into my other point is some of these projects you seem to be taking on are going to have long-term effect way after the 6 months after you all turn the fiscal court over to the next judge executive. And it doesn't seem right. Reagan, you've always said you want what's best for the county. I think some of these major issues need to wait until the next judge executive and the new magistrates come in so they can weigh in and do their own due diligence. And hopefully as you work with them during the transition, you'll have the opportunity to explain why all these projects are so good for Madison County. And if they are, I'm sure the next administration will want to move forward. But ultimately, they're going to be the ones responsible for carrying this out. And so I just believe if you genuinely believe these projects are a good thing for Madison County, then I'm sure Donna will as well, and Bruce and the rest of you that will still be around. But finally, I don't think a lot of people realize the things going on with the 722 acres of the Carr property, along with the 300 acres that are now the Triple Crown Park, that we are outsourcing ownership of 1,000 acres plus of prime land to the Central Kentucky Business Park Authority, which isn't just controlled by Madison County. It's controlled also by Fayette and Scott County. Is that correct?
yes.
Yes. So I don't understand why we still need to be involved and have an additional 722 acres controlled by not just the county it's in. So those are my comments. I'm hoping you all will listen and consider delaying some of these things, talking with Donna and the new magistrates and seeing if that's the direction they want to go in. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike and Donna, did y'all want to speak? No, we just signed it. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We need to change our sheet to make sure. I think some people just thought you had to sign in to come to the meeting, so we apologize. This is just for people that want to make public comment. So was there anyone else that wanted to make public comment today? Yes, sir, come on up. I'm sorry? Yeah, come on up.
My name's Carl Lindblom. What's that? Yeah.
Michael wants to speak.
Yeah, I've got Michael on here.
My name's Carl Lindblom. I'm around the Upper Hines Creek. I'd like to thank Mr. Hughes for voting against that industrial park. I'm quite appalled that a gaggle of lame ducks voted for it without any public comment. And I'm further appalled that they know full and well that they're lame ducks and that the voters flushed you down the toilet specifically because of this. And I think that you ought to reconsider and let the incoming administration handle it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Is there anybody else? I know we've got some. I know Mary Lois, you're on here. Jeff Jones? Oh. Okay, Josh Gabbard? No, you're good. Mary Lois?
This is the boss right here.
Not really. Not really. Thank you, Reagan, and the Fiscal Court. I'm Mary Kearns. I've lived in Madison County all but 2 years of my 83 and a half years. Yes, I'm opposed to another business/industrial park in our county, especially located on Lexington Road. I know the next comment is, oh, but there's going to be an interstate exchange built. We as citizens and taxpayers need to know specifics. Do you all as members of this fiscal court know where the money's coming from to get this property site ready? Do you have it in writing that an exchange will be built for easy access to the interstate? Or is this just what you're hoping will happen? It is a fact that the shape 25 south of 95 exit is in. It cannot hold up to heavy traffic and trailers during construction of such a massive building project. The purchase price of this property isn't a drop in the bucket to what it will cost to get this 722 plus acres site ready. We need to have specifics, guys. Not just this is what we want or this is what looks good on paper. This thing of economic development, jobs for the future, jobs for our future generations, we don't buy that. Mercer County just lost 900 acres to an industrial park. How many acres of non-built industrial sites are on Duncannon and Berea? 700 or so. Rockcastle has an 1,100 plus acre industrial site. All in total, surrounding counties have approximately 2,800 acres of proposed industrial and business sites ready for development. Now just think about that. Well, good luck, right? Take a look, for example, at our little shopping center out here, how many of those businesses are closed? This resolution represents a long-term contract that could potentially tie the hands of the incoming administration. It would obligate the county and new administration for future funds without a certified available revenue stream. There was a geotechnical analysis that was performed on the farm. This is where you bore holes at different depths to interpret soil composition, groundwater levels, bearing capacity. Now, let me tell you about bearing capacities. That's the maximum pressure the soil can withstand before complete shear failure occurs. That's where the soil gives way. The data to determine appropriate foundation types for buildings that will be on the property. I would hope that each of you gentlemen that are our magistrates have read and looked carefully at this site. Have you? Where can we get, the public, where can we get access to this analysis? Do we answer questions or no?
It's public
No.
comment.
Okay, well, Billy Ray, don't laugh at me. Stop it.
I'm sorry.
Stop it. Okay, I'll just
Here
ask
it is.
the.
Hey,
Oh, you do have it.
I got it.
Oh, gosh, it's big.
It's 75 pages.
Wow. Well, maybe I can get a copy from you.
I'll give you this one right here. I've already read it. You can-
All right, here are some questions, and maybe I could meet at a later date and get some of these answers. What was the cost of the geotechnical boring and analysis, and who paid for it?
There was zero cost to the county.
What, dear?
There was zero cost to the county.
I'm sorry?
There was zero cost to the county.
Zero. They just did it free
We got a
gratis?
grant to pay for those costs.
You got a grant? Okay, so.
Also, okay, you gave.
Yes, got a
Also-
grant. Did you get a grant for having it surveyed?
Yes, ma'am.
Got a grant for that, okay. Do you all know what has been spent so far on the project? So far?
I don't know right off
Okay,
the
well,
top of
I'm
my
not,
head.
okay, I must, yeah.
It's zero. So far, it's been zero to Madison County Fiscal Court.
Okay. Now, one really important thing, because I have seen what happened to the Day Farm after it was the land use change. And it is growing up in thistles and briars, trees. It's an eyesore. So if this property is purchased, who's going to maintain it until the industrial or business thing moves forward? That's another question. Those of you that voted yes and used the verbiage of planning for our future generations, what are the specific future plan? Is it our future generations that will be paying for this for years to come? Can I ask one question about the fire station?
I always
No.
let you break rules, Mary Lois.
Love
I'm
you.
not ever gonna tell you no.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yep,
I could tell
Yeah.
some tales on you.
I know you could. Yeah. Please don't. Well, at this point, it don't really matter.
No, it doesn't matter. So where do we stand as far as the fire station, the North Fire Station?
The northern fire station is having footers put in now. The building's on site.
There just hasn't been much going on at that site for a while.
Well, there you go. So, the county road department, we did all the grading work and
Yeah.
got it ready. And we've been working with KU to get an electric line moved. But they were out there last week, starting to put in digging footers and getting slabs and things. The building was delivered a month ago, maybe. It's on site.
Oh, a building?
Well, just the steel beams and columns.
Oh.
It's a pre-engineered
okay.
building. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mary Lois. All right, next is Jenny. Jenny, you good? Michael Frazier. I think Michael, was there anybody else that wanted to speak? I don't want to leave anybody out.
Speak
Signed
now,
in.
forever hold your peace.
Yes,
darling.
go ahead, Michael.
All right. Judge Executive Taylor, honorable members of the Fiscal Court, if I may please the court. I did come up here for one issue, but I will say this, a second issue, well, not issue, but also comment to be made, if I can lead with that first. I do appreciate the funding and investment, especially when it comes to homeless services. But I do expect that after 25% of funding is given to a local entity, that becomes a quasi. So I do have a question, does the county plan on managing the new quasis, Open Meetings Act and Open Records Act, especially with the new resolutions that's passed? I think so. I don't have any doubt in that.
Yeah.
So I will also say that to get addressed, we're very proud of our services here, but I will say that there is something called a one-stop. It's called Goodwill, and it didn't require local funding too. So I will point that out, and I hope that we can work in tangent because we need both. The need is great, and we need both. And we can do it without additional taxpayer funding. So let me also start with this. Again, my name is Michael Frazier, and I'm here in my personal capacity as a citizen of Madison County, a resident who deeply cares about fiscal responsibility, transparency, property rights, and making sure that an honest conversation happens about our county's future. Before I begin, some of you all recognize me as your all's forum host and also in partnership. I have to ask, how many of you attended the Madison County Candidate Forum? Most of you. And if you did, how many of you all answered the questions honestly? All of you. I ask because I remember asking questions about an urban service boundary, right, Judge Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
I also remember asking questions about data centers, right, Magistrate Lockmuir, Magistrate Combs? I also remember the public being told there was a service urban boundary, correct? I also remember saying that there was no data center proposal. Yet, based upon conversations on Facebook, here we are having conversations about a moratorium and data centers and a request for a moratorium that's led by hysteria and feelings, not fact. That brings me to the larger issue before us today, the difference between facts and feelings. Over the last several months, social media has been flooded with speculation, rumors, and worst-case scenarios. Some folks have convinced themselves that every development is bad, every business is a threat, and every county change means Madison County is doomed. But feelings are not fact, and fear is not a substitute for planning. And the last time I checked, do we not have a county planning and a comprehensive plan? We do. The Madison County Comprehensive Plan recognizes that growth is occurring and that our county must plan for housing, infrastructure, transportation, utilities, and economic development. Growth is not a theory. It's happening regardless if we're ready. Regardless if we're ready. The question is not whether Madison County will grow. The question is whether we can manage the growth intelligently, transparently, and in a way that protects taxpayers and respect property rights. There is a difference between growth and smart growth. Smart growth means asking whether roads can handle a project, whether utilities are available, whether taxpayers benefit, whether infrastructure keeps pace, and whether property rights are respected. Those are legitimate questions, but opposition to every project, every investment, and every proposal is not a growth strategy. It's just saying no and putting our heads in the sand. County government also faces a reality that Facebook posts do not repeal. If citizens want good roads, reliable sewer systems, public safety, and management services, and county services, there are two ways to pay for them. You either raise taxes or grow the tax base. That is it. The answer cannot be more services, lower taxes, and no growth. The math simply doesn't work. This is Econ 101. Justice Louis Brandeis warned us about what happens when fear overtakes reason. In Whitney versus California in 1925, in the concurrence that set aside the premises of the First Amendment, for you all don't know, I'm a huge First Amendment advocate. He writes, "Men feared witches and burned women, that through the best line for fear to break the chains of dogma is not by silence or coercion, it's not hysteria or fear, it's by education and fact." That line should stay with us because hysteria has never been a good basis for public policy, and Madison County should not let rumors, fear, or social media drive decisions that will affect this county or generations. Madison County has absolutely should and has and will continue, and I'm very proud of this for the county, to ask tough questions. We should demand transparency, we should scrutinize proposal, we should hold elected officials accountable, but we should do these things with facts, not witch hunts, with common sense, not hysteria, and with a commitment to smart growth, not blind opposition to growth itself. So today, I ask the court to lead with facts, not a hard request. Focus on infrastructure, focus on taxpayers, focus on transparency, focus on smart growth. Madison County does deserve leadership, willing to follow the facts wherever they may lead, not leadership driven by fear, rumors, or political pressure from the loudest voices on Facebook. Because, folks, let's say I come from the future. Most of you all know I have worked with counties across eastern Kentucky. I have seen what happens when there's not enough water hookups. I have seen where there's not enough buses to meet the demands during the summer heat because we don't have enough money to pay for a new ambulance. I have seen what happens when road funding gets depleted. I have seen what happens when we don't have smart growth and industry leaves and they start looking at other counties. Call me the ghost of Christmas past or yet to come, but heed my warning. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. All right, next is approve the transfers and pay the claims.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Master Hughes?
Yes.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes. Our next meeting will be June 30th, 2026 here in Richmond. Again, June 30th, 2026 here in Richmond, and that's due to the year-end claims. All right, need a motion second to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll.
Master Hughes?
Aye.
Master Buchan?
Yes.
Master Combs?
Yes.
Master Lockmuller?
Yes.
Judge Taylor?
Yes, thanks everybody for being here. Appreciate it.